Hello, everyone. Today is February 23rd. Happy full moon in Virgo. Um, I know it's been a long time since I've been on. I don't think I posted since November. Part of that was just taking time for kind of winter and slowing down, going kind of inward, reflecting on the past year, and part of it is this year it's been kind of crazy already. So here's kind of a little bit of a life update where I've been. So the end of December, I felt really called to go outside one evening and just look at the stars. And there was actually a meteor shower that night that I didn't know about. And I saw a bunch of shooting stars. And then I started to get really depressed and like very, very depressed. And I was confused because I had no idea what was going on. I was like, why am I feeling so horrible? I don't understand this. So I reached out to one of my friends who's an acupuncturist. She does distance crystal healing sessions, and she's absolutely fantastic. And so she wound up, I had her do a session for me just to kind of help move through whatever was going on. And then the message that came through after, she does automatic writing and provides me with a message. And part of the message was that your great family loves you. And so when we connected after to talk about the experience and the message and everything like that, and to just partly catch up, I asked her, I was like, what is great family? Is that my spirit guides? And so she tuned in and was like, no, it's not your spirit guides. Is it your galactic family? And it was. And she's like, okay, is she a star seed? And that was yes. And she went through a couple different, the Andromeda, Palladian, and those weren't it. And it turns out that I'm a Lyran starseed, and so is she as well. So that was like another kind of sisterhood thing that we connected over. And then, so I found that out the very beginning of January. I think it was like the 1st or 2nd of January. And then, like the very next day, I saw this huge shooting star. It was the biggest I've ever seen, and it had like rainbow colors shooting through the sky at the same time, and it was just absolutely insane. I was like, oh my gosh, what is that? That's so cool. And then really I had been feeling like the farm I was at was not an equal energy exchange. And as in, we were working far too much for what was being provided in exchange. And, it was really bothering me. So I kind of started doing some research and looking into, if you were going to work a 40-hour a week job, what percentage would go towards rent and what percentage of that would go towards food. Well, so what I found is about 30% would go to rent, which on a 40-hour work week, that's 12 hours. And then about 11.5% would go towards food. But I kind of increased that just to be like extra fair. So I increased it to 15%, which would be 6 hours. And so that would be a total of about 18 hours that would be towards rent and food. Well, that's all that was being provided, and most of our meat was not even provided. So I was purchasing a lot of meat every week as well. And so it was really bothering me. I talked to the owner and I was like, hey, here's some facts, and this really doesn't, we were working at least 10 hours or more a week above 18 hours. So we were working at least 28 to 30 hours a week, and still only rent and food was being provided. So I even went to him and I was like, hey, I don't feel like this is an equal energy exchange. And he kind of just, turned it back around on him that he has done woofing before, and, they were dumpster diving for food, and kind of just, didn't receive it well, which is fine. I didn't think he was going to, but I wanted to at least, for my own kind of peace of mind, kind of speak my piece. And, but I still, like, it was still really bothering me in January. And then starting in, like, the very beginning of February, it kind of just started to get to a dull roar. And I felt like I needed to move on. And it kind of just continued to get worse and worse. And I was like, I already knew. So actually, kind of going back to the beginning of January, I had decided to leave in April because I was listening to some energy updates for the year, and one of them was talking about the solar eclipse that's on April 8th. And so she was talking about it, and she said, and I've known I wanted to come back to Texas for a while now, and that's where I want to start my ranch and my community. But as soon as she said the eclipse enters in Texas, it was like a full body yes, and I knew I had to be here to watch the eclipse. I was like, okay, so I'll leave in April, which I had originally signed up to be on the farm for a year, which would put me there until August of this year. And that was just very clear that wasn't in alignment anymore. So I had set that I was going to leave in April, the beginning of April, and come down and watch the eclipse in Texas, and then I would stay here and be here. But it was becoming very, very clear that I just kind of needed to get out, and I didn't really know why. So I packed everything up on my car, left the farm actually 2 weeks ago now, drove to Texas, and I have been camping out. This is where I'm at right now. It's absolutely gorgeous. The weather is phenomenal. It's been like, aside from last weekend, it was cold. It was like in the 40s during the day. It was mid 40s during the day. But other than that, it's been like high 60s to like high 70s. So it's just this like perfect, wonderful temperature. Most of the days have been nice and sunny like this. It's absolutely wonderful. So I've had a lot of the energy starting probably last Friday until really it didn't start turning around until Tuesday. The energy was very heavy, very dense. I was processing through a lot of self-doubt, self-worth issues, non-deserving, fear, anxiety. And I was really questioning like what I was doing, why I was out here. But luckily the energy has been turning around. I'm starting to feel better. I feel that it's really beneficial right now that I do have this time just to ground myself, to be out in nature, to really connect back, because I honestly don't remember the last time I spent 2 weeks camping, just being out in nature, not having a huge to-do list, not constantly being busy, not constantly like, oh, gotta do this, and it feels really good to relax and sit and listen to the birds and feel the wind on my face. It's definitely what I needed right now. So I'm currently in East Texas. It's a little very, very, very small town called Kennard. It's near Crockett and Grapeland, which I definitely want to land in this area. I don't know exactly where my ranch and my property is going to be, but it's in Houston County in Texas. And it's absolutely beautiful. I love it. I definitely am starting to really feel at peace here, and definitely ready to make a home and ready for the next steps. So I just wanted to touch base, let you guys know what I've been doing. Love y'all. Mwah.